preparing for the next Co-Creator Blast number 13 about growth. And I just need to add our lovely Elizabeth to the conversation. So give me a second. She is coming. Let's see. I'm trying to, stabilize the screen. I hope you're all doing great, even if Corona is still there, that you enjoy your time. So what's happening here? Somehow habe ich was Falsches gemacht. Doesn't seem to work today. It does work. So I am going to be adding Elizabeth soon. Yes, she's waving. Yes. So hello. We are today together. We are together today for the blast number 13.
Yay!
Rose and yes, we decided to start again a bit earlier.
Because we're this piece of that
because
we're experimenting, and it's all about
exactly.
If you don't experiment, how will you learn? And so one of those aspects of keeping you on your toes, right?
Oh yeah, so that you never know when we're coming. Never. You still grow. You have to grow with us,
Yeah, exactly. And so it is 4:15 in Stuttgart, and it is then 7 a.m. in San Francisco. And so, yeah. So with your morning coffee, here we are, co-creators.
For growth.
Yeah, for growth. I love it. I love it. So, hey there, everybody. We are excited to have you here. We are Elizabeth Lemke.
And Anne-Cécile Graeber.
Perfect. And we are the two co-creators behind Co-Creator.Space, which is a program that we designed and developed for teams, organizations, and really for individuals around this piece of not everything needs to be an innovation, but everything is subject to evolution, and particularly right now. So the idea about how do we have adaptive teams, learning, growing, and having a little bit of fun on the way, because as we well know, fun is the key to unlocking potential.
Yeah.
So
and I would like to say success too, but
Exactly. And that's why when we're talking about, organizational development, oftentimes when you look on YouTube, etc., they explain it so completely dry. And it's
boring.
Exactly.
You just want to kill yourself. But it's funny.
But yes. Hopefully not that far. Hopefully not that far. But it is this piece that there's this assumption that organizational and team development is dry, and you need to be, you need to take it seriously. And we're here to say, yes, you need to take it seriously, but you don't need to take it dry. Because that's the beauty of teaming, is when people build on each other, when they really connect, when they go away from the group think, how can we build upon things together? That's where the innovation fun is.
That's the magic we are looking for.
Exactly. So, and then with that, welcome to our Blast 13.
Yes, so.
Love it. And, because the topic of growth is something that is brought up quite often as to why do people quit. Even in this times of the pandemic, people say, what's the reason for leaving? It's either here, how do I feel? Do people see me within this team? Am I respected? And then the other one is am I growing? And,
exactly.
Yeah. And so as we look to growth, it's important to say it's not about are we growing in title? Are we growing in terms of our financial rewards? Don't get me wrong, or don't get us wrong. We know that that's important, but it's really not at the end of the day what we're really looking at in terms of growth. When we're looking at how people grow at work, it's that piece around how am I being enriched? How am I being enriched either via the people I get to work together with in terms of the relationships? Do I feel like I'm learning? Do I feel like I'm adding a valuable contribution? In terms of impact, is what I'm doing really, does it make sense? Does anybody care? Does it, at the end of the day, make a contribution for improving something? And the third one is, of course, when we're looking at the final piece of growth, it's that aspect of, is what I'm doing, do I see how I'm integrating and how it's growing? And those are the things that really lead to fulfillment and not just engagement in terms of
yeah. And I think the topic of engagement was so strong because there were, through the Gallup study, so many things written about 60% of the people are not engaged. And when they are, then everything is better. But fulfilling people or fulfilled people are even better than those who are engaged. And that's the game, to try to get them to feel like they can bring themselves as a full person without having to hide a part of who they are. And when I speak with people who are looking for jobs right now, they say, I have enough of being, having a poker face. I just want to be accepted as I am. Even if like this and this, I'm a person. That's really the quest for many people right now. They say, hey, it's a crisis. So I better go somewhere where they treat me well. And even HR people say we have a great advantage compared to other organizations because we care about people.
And at the end of the day, it's really that fundamental piece. Do we really honestly care? You can have these beautiful recognition, huge programs, but at the end of the day, how are you treating people with respect and actually seeing them rather than talking about human stock capital as if people were cattle? And so when we're talking about growth, it really is exactly like Anne-Cecile said, making it real and making it really about that individual person. How am I seen? How am I growing? How am I respected? How am I having an impact? And what do I get to actually do within those roles? And it's interesting, part of a group called L&D Cares. And one of the things that we're getting from our focus group is that even as people are getting furloughed or they're getting laid off, this aspect as, what do I want to do next? What's my magic sauce? And this aspect of how do I make a contribution? What's that contribution to be made? That it's not just about the financial reward. It's really about what can I actually do that makes a difference. And so that's why growth is such an exciting topic.
And I think it comes back to the starting with why from Simon Sinek. And more people are looking for their why. Like, okay, I can work almost anywhere now. I can work online because we discovered that with our lovely crisis, Corona, that it's possible to work from anywhere. And so now that we have the choice, we can choose. And I think it's going to be very interesting to be at the Learn and Development and LD Growth Care Summit that you are organizing, because those topics are really important and people are looking for this kind of inputs.
Yeah, absolutely. So to that point, so we are taking co-creation and putting it on the road. So L&D Cares is a group of, it's a hastily formed network, just people who are concerned about colleagues about who's being affected by the pandemic. And one thing that it's always irritating is when we talk about or complain about, and it's not necessarily what can we do. So this whole career development summer, and you can find it on lndcares.org, the Career Growth Summit, it's for the area of learning. And the question is, how can we make the talent matching process, meaning, getting together the recruiters, the sourcers, the hiring managers, the professional organizations, and of course, the people, the job seekers, and say, what can we do to improve the talent matching for the world of work right now? And then for what it is going to be tomorrow, and then how can we co-create? So we're putting co-creation onto the docket, and so that will be a major part of what we're doing. So we're excited. Yeah, exactly. But it is all that aspect is, we are growing adults. It's continuous education. It's not a one and done.
Yeah, and I think that's really the discovery of many people. You can still learn. And there are those discoveries about the neurosciences that say, well, your brain is a muscle, so you can work with it until, until it doesn't grow anymore, which is like, it doesn't stop. And I hear many people say, yes, but you're talking about growing, about learning, but I'm 50, but I'm too young, but I'm like, stop with your but and start with yet. You know?
I love it. Stop with your butt and start with
Stop with your butt and start. Yeah. You know, like but remember what they have to do. They have to stop with their butt and start with yet. And that comes from the growth mindset book from Dr. Dweck. She said basically, if you start a sentence, I can't do it because I'm too old, then you can say, I can't do it yet. And you take away the too old, too young, not enough experience. I don't know anything about that. No, not yet. And she realized that when you place just this word at the end of a sentence, then you are still encouraging yourself to say, okay, if it's not yet, that means I can work on it. I can be better. I can develop. And so I love this magical word. Instead of but, just use yet.
I love it. Exactly. Because it really taps into the self-efficacy. So kind of this self-belief, because oftentimes what happens is that we limit ourselves in terms of belief, in terms of can I or can't I? And it's a very, it's a not normative one. It's either either or. And what the beauty of the word yet and what, what folks are trying to get at when they talk about the growth mindset is really it's creeping up that possibility in terms of your own belief that there is that potential in you. And oftentimes we limit our own selves. And so it's funny. I like it. So instead of your butt, stop with your butt, go to your yet. I love it.
Yeah. And it's, and it also brings the idea of if it's not yet, then you can still work on it and you can invest some energy. And the energy you spend on the yet, it brings you more than the energy you spend on your butt.
Yep.
That's too good, I couldn't stop that.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So to that point of the yet, we have a challenge. So hello, Cordelia. I love it. So this is an amazing woman that I met recently. Our podcast is going to come out on Thursday, and we are going to be going dancing at some point together. And today, as we're talking about growth, so I want to ask this one question. And so just take a little bit. You can use the comments section. So the question is, as you think about in your work, in a relationship, or travel, what was a challenge that isn't one anymore? So just kind of think back, 9, 12 months ago, what used to be a challenge for you? Okay. So and Cecile and I are going to play along. So here for me.
Are you writing your answer?
Yeah, I'm writing my answer. Running a summit.
What was a challenge 9 months ago?
So for me, running a summit, I love it. Making
for
money
me, making money as a freelance.
Absolutely. And doing that conundrum of, do I go independent or do I not?
Yeah, and that was, it took me a long time.
And to that question then, so what changed for you? What kind of helped you get over that Rubicon to make that decision to go freelance?
I spoke with many people and I got coached. And then I realized I had all the basics that was necessary. The only thing I still have to learn is patience, and you're like, okay, it's going to be critical in 3 weeks, but it's still okay. So learning to relax and just trust the process.
I love it. That's beautiful. And then that it's part of that growth and learning. So for me, running a summit, so I had grand plans of doing cultural mutiny, and then went to Amsterdam, had a beautiful location. It was incredible. And then it was a question, okay, well, who are our partners? And then how much is it going to cost? And I got into that fear-based response around the logistics, rather than what I like Priya Parker, you know, and her art of gathering. I'm a total fangirl of it. It's this piece of, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? And going away from the logistical question and coming back to why are we meeting? What is really the essence? What would make a difference and what would make an impact? And so that's why I'm so excited about the L&D Cares Career Growth Summit. Is yes, okay, there are some costs involved for me, but not for anybody else, because I want to make sure that it's really this place of solution agnostic, hear that creativity of what's in the room together, and just saying, okay, even if you don't know, trying over just thinking about it for 12 hours and 10 hours. Exactly. Because like Cordelia said, it's about the purpose. What are we really trying to accomplish? Yeah.
So why we do things,
Yeah. So, and when we think about, you know, what are those pieces around, you know, what changed? Because theoretically, we had the exact same frame up, you know, like nothing really significantly changed around the pillars or the boundary conditions. It was really to what Anne-Cécile was saying about the what's the yet. And it's oftentimes getting up your own gumption and your own courage to say, okay, let's try it. And how can we be experimental?
Yeah, and try. And I think that's basically the idea, to just look at what you've done so far. And for me, it was like, okay, I always found a way. Like whatever happened to me, I came to Germany, didn't speak a word of German, and I still did it. So opening my own business should be okay. You know, there was a comparing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's always in the doing and understanding, you know, what is, you know, what's the purpose? What am I trying to, you know, like you said, going back to the Simon Sinek's, what's our why? And then saying, okay, and then figuring out the what and the how is behind that, but having a clear idea about what is our purpose, what's that impact that we want to have. And so, and that's the beauty behind why Anne-Cécile reached out one time on LinkedIn a couple of years ago, and then we came up with Co-Creator.Space, because it's really about how do we find and galvanize around a common why, and do not dictate the hows, but really go into that beauty of co-creation and triggering in a positive sense that beauty that's in the team and the expertise and that willingness to explore together.
And to try new stuff, like all those lives. Like we were like, okay, do we want to do that? Let's just do it.
Let's just do it. So getting outside of our comfort zone.
Yeah, every day a bit more.
Every day a bit more. And that's why we are going to our song today. So as you may know, for our blast, we always have a song. And of course, we had to take Lizzo because we're feeling good as hell. So, you know, so Cordelia, you can sing along with us. So it's, woo, girl, need to kick up your shoes, go get a deep breath. It's time to focus on you. All those big fights, long nights that you've been through. I got a bottle of tequila and been saving it for you. Boss up and change your life. You can have it all, no sacrifice. I know he did you wrong and we can make it right. So go let it all hang out tonight because he don't love you anymore. So walk your fine ass right out the door and do your hair toss, check your nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Good.
Good as hell. All right. I love it. Okay. So with that, what we want to leave you with in today's blast is really looking at yourself and taking a little bit of a stock as to just one year ago. Think about September 2019. Where were you? What were some of those big challenges that you had in front of you? What are the steps that you have been taking to make progress against those? And write those down. Write those down, put it on your board, and take that step to say, how are you growing?
Yeah.
Okay? So that's the first part.
Yeah, and collect those things in a box. That's what I do.
Yep, exactly. Because it's so helpful to take those things out and to just do a little bit of a stock space to say, where was I? And then to reflect by having it in a box to say, okay, where am I growing? The next piece of that is to say, and where do you want to go? Okay. Yeah, Cordelia, I love it. Yeah, I really come a very, very long way. And it's beautiful. And oftentimes we don't take that reflection time to think about where we're coming from and what we've all accomplished. And it's important because it shows the growth in you is a continual process. And don't be too hard on yourself, because oftentimes the expectations that we have on ourselves are oftentimes a little bit higher than others have on us. So it's that piece. How are we forgiving, but also how are we celebrating how far we've come, and knowing, like Aunt Cecilia said, that there's a true power in the word of yet.
And a small exercise that we started to do here is to list the 3 things we were awesome at on that day.
Yes.
And, like just to look at, okay, what did I do well? What was the thing where I was good at? Because we focus way too much on the negatives, because the brain is just done for that. Looking at what's not working to survive.
Yeah, love it. I love it. That's perfect. So with that, we're going to tell you to walk your fine asses out that door and hope you're feeling good as hell. Really appreciated you coming along for this Co-Creator Blast. When are we going to be meeting up the next time, Miss Cecile?
We say the 29th of September because the week before there is the Growth Summit, so you have to come.
Exactly.
So we share the links to register, whatever.
Yep.
So that you know where to find us again, or the summit.
Perfect. Great. Well, then we will see you at the L&D Cares Career Growth Summit, particularly if you are in the area of learning, growth, and talent. Be there or be horizontal. Exactly. Cordelia is going to be there, and Cecile is going to be there, and I will definitely be there. And we can't wait to see co-creation and that beauty of the plurality in the room. All righty then. Then we thank you for attending our blast.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
And see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.